random topic. I'm sitting there scrolling through my phone and I see another mobile banking whatever, and I thought, not a bad topic to talk about. So let's get right into it. Today, for our honorary mic stand, we have no mic stand. It's invisible. It's invisible. It's invisible. We have fun here. If it's your first time being here, I don't really have like a specific thing that I do. I just kind of do my own thing. And when I edit these things together, I go, am I really going to post this? And then I go, yeah, might as well. So, here we are, back again. I wanted to start off the video with a few fun facts about money. And then I'll kind of just ramble about the facts, I guess. Here goes nothing. Did you know that the life expectancy for a US dollar bill is no more than 15 years? The $1 bills is less than 6 years. It's about 5.7, according to my sources. Another fun fact for you. You hear the term paper money, dollar bill, blah, 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 blah. The dollar bill is actually not paper at all. It is 75% cotton and 25% linen. So, if that does anything for you, do you think that I could sew a dollar bill onto a pair of pants and wash it? Well, no, wait. Man, it's still so thin that when you throw it in the wash, they come out all crinkled and wrinkled. But they don't get destroyed. I guess that's a good point. I just want to make sure that it's a good video. But I'm kind of rambling about literally whatever. So if you're listening to this for entertainment, just go to sleep. Like, if you're not trying to sleep to this video, just go to sleep. Why are you awake right now? Just go to sleep. Before 1970, the US government would issue 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, and even a $100,000 bill. The $100,000 bill was not made for the public. They do exist, but all of the other bills I just mentioned are legal tender, but they tend to stay in collectors' collections, obviously, right? Like, imagine working at a grocery store and the guy's like, can I get my change? And he hands you $1,000 bill, and you're like, can I get a manager to the front, please? Thank you. Pennies used to be about 95% copper, but they are now about 2.5%. And with that same 2.5, that's how much it costs to make a penny. So it's not only is it barely copper, it's mostly zinc now, but it also costs more than 2 cents to make a penny. Isn't that kind of crazy? You know, we could just be rounding up, but that's how I like to play Monopoly. Just round up. Who uses the dollars in Monopoly? You know, maybe beginning of the game, but you don't really use the dollars that much. You know, why am I paying you $6 in rent for the brown property in Monopoly? Just no. Why? No. Just take $10 or take a 5. Who cares about the ones, right? You know how sometimes when you were a kid, you would bend a paperclip back and forth until it broke, right? You would have to fold a dollar bill 4,000 times for it to break. Bent and back 4,000 times. That's kind of crazy. If you ask me, I think that if you can do that, who figured that out? Who sat there for all of that time and figured out that was it a machine? Did they just have a dollar bill folding machine 4,000 times? Or was it just a guy that they paid? They're like, hey, we'll let you keep the dollar if you spend all of your time bending this 4,000 times. That's a long, long time. Have you guys ever seen those Bitcoin like ATM things in like a mall or in like a public place? I remember seeing my first one when I was like 16 or 17, and so years ago, and I remember I was like, this is so weird. Like, what is the world coming to where there's Bitcoin machines out in public? You know, it's becoming very mainstream. On the topic of ATMs, there is an ATM on every single continent in the world, including Antarctica or other continents that I totally know off the top of my head. I just wanted you to think of it first. Duh. It's not because I didn't know them. With the rise of electronic banking in the 21st century, only about 8% of the world's currency is physical currency. It is now all online and electronic. If you had to think, what do you think would be like the one bill that you hold on to the most, right? A 1, a 5, a 10, a 20. It's gotta be 100, right? It's a $100 bill. You're like, yeah, I gotta save that, right? I gotta save that, keep it, hold on to it. Because like, it's kind of a flex to have, right? Did you know that two-thirds of the $100 bills are held in foreign countries outside of the US? Two-thirds of all of the $100 bills in the world. Do you guys keep spare change? I keep a bunch of quarters in my car for like parking and filling up my tires and things like that. I think it's always smart to keep like $4 or $5 worth of quarters, just in case. You know, no matter where you are, if it's like a parking meter or, again, fill up your tires if you notice your tire's low or you have a leak. Some of those tire pressure things don't have the debit card swiper yet, so I always keep like $5 in quarters. Even in your room, like if your washer or dryer was to break or something and you have to go to a laundromat, you gotta have that change on you, you know? Keep a couple dollars worth of quarters. Fun fact about that, it is estimated that the average American keeps around $130 worth of change in or around their home. That's a lot of change, but at the same time, it is also estimated that Americans throw away $62 million worth of change every year. You better start dumpster diving for change, because that is a lot of money that you could be making. You become a millionaire just from digging for change. Become a garbage man. Just look for change. See, the crow agrees. Apparently a lot. See, he knows. He's a paid actor. He's a paid actor, but he's not a very good one. It's almost like he knows I'm recording a video right now. Like, I think he's watching me through the window and he's laughing at me right now. My last fun fact for the dollar bills and change and coins and everything else is that the dollar bill has not been changed since 1929, which is about 100 years. That's kind of crazy. it's not, because the other thing I was reading about that is it's not really worth it. It's just like the penny, like, why change the $1 bill? The reason they change the big bills so often, they'll make minor changes because it helps with counterfeiting. So the $1 bill is like, who's counterfeiting $1 bills? And if you are, you're only getting a few dollars out of it, literally. So for the next part of this video, I kind of just wanted to touch on a different topic. It's the same kind of stuff, but just little things that I use in my daily life, or just my opinions on the ways people spend money. It has nothing to do, if it applies to you, it has nothing to do with you personally. It's just how I feel. So completely ignore it or turn the video off if this like actually upsets you, but it's not supposed to. Used cars, right? I don't understand why people feel the need to get a new car. I'm not talking like 2010, 2015. If you're buying a brand new car for $60,000 into making a $400 to $800 car payment for 6 to 7 years, like, I just don't understand that. You know, like, buy a 2000, piece of junk car. It's gonna be a lot cheaper to fix. You don't have to take it to the dealership. You can take it to any old guy, or your buddy, if he knows anything about cars. Bring it to him. Bring it to that guy, and say, hey, I'll give you $100 to fix ABC. I'm sure your buddy will help you out. So I've always been friends with car people. You gotta be friends with car people. They will always tell you it's way cheaper to do it here, or I go to this guy, or I can do it for you, right? So take advantage of that. You see these car commercials on TV, and it's like, oh, this car's only $35,000, and you're like, wow, that's not that bad for 2024. And you look online, and you're like, oh, it comes with no features at all. It's $35,000 base model, and then, oh, I want parking assist. Oh, I want, the extra, like, the little lights that show up on your mirrors when a car is coming, like lane change assist, and I don't know new car features because I don't really care, but then you get all those things, and it comes out, oh, it's $60,000 now, almost double the price of the car, and depending on where you live, then you have taxes on top of that, and if you don't buy the car outright for $60,000, over time, those payments with an annual percentage, an APR, annual percentage rating, and everything else, you end up paying total, by the time that car's paid off in 5 years, you ended up paying like $70,000 to $80,000 for a car that was supposed to be $30,000, right? I'm not talking about any cars in specific here. There's no specific thing that comes to mind. This is just things that I've seen and things that I've heard, right? My last point about the cars is I don't really understand what's the difference between the 2023 model, the 2022 model, the 2021 model. Oh, it looks a tiny bit different, and you get one new feature, and you get one extra cup holder. Like, whatever, dude, Oh, you get 3 extra inches of leg room for tall people. Fair. For me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, right? Deal with it. You know what I mean? Why would I pay hundreds of dollars a month for a new car when I could buy one? It's the same exact make and model, but it's 20 years older, and it has a lot of miles on it, but I can get all that stuff fixed up and make it basically a brand new car for the price of 3 monthly payments of a brand new car. You see what I mean? Hold on. Let me do the math for you. Let me see if I can put it on the screen, right? Buy a car for $3,000. Spend another $3,000 fixing it up, which is a lot of money to put into a 20-year-old car. $6,000. Buy a brand new car. $5,000 down payment. $600 a month for 20 years, or for 6 years or whatever it is, $40,000. So if you just spend an extra $1,000 on a cheap car and spend $6,000 instead of $5,000 up front, and you don't even get the whole car, you're still paying on it. I don't know. I just feel like cars are just like a very big status symbol for the most part. Just buy a cheap car. What's the big deal, I don't think there's a big problem with buying a used car. You don't need to be flashy and show off. That's just me. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is phones, right? It's pretty much the same thing with the used cars. Why are you buying a new phone every single year? Like, I get it, but back to like one of my last points about the cars, it's the same thing. Like 90% of the phone is the exact same thing, right? What's the difference between a iPhone 12 and an iPhone 12 Pro and an iPhone 12 mini? They're all basically the same. So what's the difference between an iPhone 12 and an iPhone 13? You get an extra camera, whippy, and then like the processor's a little bit faster or whatever it may be, right? Just like I said before, this is not advice, this is just my opinion. If you're gonna buy a new phone, let's say you have like a 10 or an 11, like an iPhone 10 or 11 or an old Samsung, you can go on Amazon. Do not go to your AT&T provider or your T-Mobile or Cricket provider and go buy one from them, because they're gonna charge you like $700 on a payment plan. If you go to Amazon, which is what I've done the last 2-3 times I've bought a phone, which I've only bought a few phones over the past like 8 years because I don't see a point in buying one every year. If you go on Amazon, you can get a 12 for like $250, and if you look if you just Google iPhone 12, it will not be the first result. You're gonna get like a $600 Target ad for an iPhone 12 that has been out since 2021, I believe. So instead, go on Amazon, you'll find a buyer, you'll find a seller who is charging $250, like half the price. It's a place that has like 20,000 5-star reviews. They're very good. I've bought a few phones as gifts for people, and I've never really had a problem with those phones ever. They're refurbished, almost brand new. They're used, but you're buying it from one of those people who buy a phone every year, right? So the person only had that phone for a couple months, if maybe a year at the most. And the phone, every time I've bought one of these phones, brand new, comes with a charger, maybe one tiny scratch on one of the corners, no scratches on the screens if you pick like excellent condition. I think it's just a waste of money to like upgrade every year. It's a free upgrade. Like, okay, sure, it's a free upgrade for the first few months, and then they charge you like $15 a month for like 4 years. So you end up paying the same amount that you would have paid for the Target version of the phone or whatever, right? In my opinion, buying a new phone every year is the same as buying a new washer and dryer every year. What's the difference? It's a washer and dryer. I've seen people who have washers and dryers from 1975 that work just as well as the new ones that have 95 settings on them, right? So, I don't know. Maybe call me cheap. That's just my opinion, man. They're just opinions. I'm just thinking. Hey guys, that's pretty much it for me. I don't really have much else to say about this. If you enjoyed this rambling video, let me know. I'll do more. Give me topics down below. Give me something to go off of. I just picked this one, like I said, based on something random that I saw before I started recording. and then I looked up a few facts and just went about it like that. If you guys have suggestions, things you want me to do, let me know. I'm doing weekly now. I wanted to do twice a week, but right now I'm just doing weekly uploads, so just let me know what you guys think. Like I always say, you guys are just as much a part of this channel as I am. No outro. See ya, guys.